today we have the one and only Mercedes G-Class, but you can get this block of cheddar cheese up to 130 miles per hour. This is your last chance to get a V8 in a G-Wagon. We are going to check out why this G550 remains one of the most luxury sought-after SUVs, check out its interesting bits and pieces, and experience my reaction as we take this thing for a drive. And make sure to stay till the end for my 3 favorite features, plus the one and only Riley ranking. Before this video gets started, I need you to go check out me in my links in the description below. I love checking out cars on the side, but I post all my best content in the links down below. So the G-Class starts at about $140,000. This one specifically is optioned to about $190,000, but they go all the way up to $250,000. That means you could either have this or 31 smart cars. What's cool about this vehicle specifically is it is one of 1,500 units, and it is your last chance to get a V8 in a G-Wagon. It also has all kinds of super cool final edition bits and pieces around the whole thing. This car is available here at Crown Euro Cars of Pinellas Park, and they have one of the best inventories I have seen at a dealer. And big shout out to Shannon for giving me the opportunity to show you guys this awesome G-Wagon. To know that you're in the presence of a final edition G-Wagon, there are a few bits around the car just to remind you. The first and the obvious is the big final edition right here on the back of the wheel. And then, if that wasn't enough, there are 96 little final editions behind that, just in case you forgot. And just a few more places that the final edition is around the vehicle is repeatedly written all the way around the trim. It is on the little dash area where it's like a grab bar, and there's also a spot on the kick plate on the floorboard that is etched with final edition. So in the G-Wagon lineup, you have 3 options to choose from. You can get the G550, which is behind me, the AMG G63, or the AMG G63 4x4 squared. Obviously, the G-Wagon does not look like any other car on the road, and they have been loyal to their military boxy design since 1979. And to point out the most notable features about the G-Wagon, we have these massive turn signals, a huge Mercedes badge, the trim along the whole vehicle, exposed rain gutters, and the spare tire on the back. Starting with a few little bits and pieces around the G-Wagon, we have here our little backup camera that pops out. We have little steps right here so you could get up and get things off your roof rack. We have our gas cap over here, which is completely massive. This is where all your money's gonna go. We have exposed hinges here. This little tiny signature on this windshield. Don't really know what it says, but if you know, tell me in the comments below. And we have this little tiny windshield washer squirter thing that squirts your little headlights if they get a little too dirty. And finishing off, we have not 1, but 2 massive Mercedes logos here. Another interesting characteristic about the G-Wagon is that classic clunk that you get when you close the door. So in order for Mercedes to do that, they had to keep the original locking mechanism in the vehicle because people loved that feature. And so that means no keyless entry. But you do have this really nice key. It feels great in your hand. You have your lock, unlock button. And for the final edition, you do have the little G final edition on the back here that matches your little door handle thing. Another odd bit about the G-Wagon is it has side exit exhaust, which is unlike most cars today. So to open the hood of the G-Wagon, there's this red lever here in the driver's footwell to pop it open. And then you come over here right under the Mercedes-Benz badge, you push up, and wow, this is so light for how big it is. And then here is the engine bay of the Mercedes G550. So this is the engine of the G550. It is a 4-liter V8 making over 400 horsepower with a 9-speed transmission. It can also tow 7,000 pounds. Not only does the G550 have a 0 to 60 of 5.3 seconds, but you can get this block of cheddar cheese up to 130 miles per hour. It also gets about 14 miles to the gallon, but if you're in the market for this car, I don't really think you care. Coming out of this 400 horsepower V8 are quad tips that come right out the side. So let's give it a listen. Okay, now let's head to the back. So starting off in the trunk area, you have your spare tire here, but it actually is locked underneath. So if you get a flat, I sure hope you have your key. Now let's open up the trunk area. So with this massive vehicle, you think you get a pretty big trunk. I mean, it looks kind of narrow, but we'll see if it fits me, right? I think I fit in here pretty good. I got a decent amount of arm space. I can go all the way across. The ceiling's pretty high. Nice. I really like this wood that they did on the floor here. You definitely don't see that too often, but you do lose a little bit of space because of your wheel wells over here because they're just so big. You have a bunch of tie down points. You have a little cubby thingy right here. You have a household plug right here. You have the world's longest headrest bars right here. And another cool little quirky feature, you have this really cute pass-through door right here that you can access of your Mercedes. Oh, ah. Now, let's hop on to the inside. That sucker is heavy. Let's go. Now we are inside the G Wagon. As you can see, it's a lot going on. Super nice, super luxurious. I love this like little metal, brushed metal look. There's not too much piano black, which is a good thing because this gets really fingerprinty. These toggle switches are nice instead of like buttons. It's just easy to press, easy to use. I love the little clock, big throwback, very classic. And I really like this dark wood. It doesn't leave like streaks behind. It's not fingerprinty. And you have your little cup holders right up in here. And we even have the little spot for your key in case your battery dies. And then moving on to the sides here, we have our seat controls, which actually are in the shape of a seat. How neat. We have our heated seats, our cooled seats. Our window controls are those nice brushed metal looked buttons again. We have our steering wheel that controls a whole bunch of different things right here. We have this side, which is more of your cruise controls and things like that, but you also have this little tiny haptic button that controls your infotainment in your gauge cluster and gives you a couple of different options to choose from, which is cool. It's just this tiny little box. And then over here on this side, you have your volume controls, things like that. But this haptic button actually controls things on the screen. But then we move over here in the middle. We have our differential lock. We have 3, 1, 2. Don't know why they laid them out like that, but okay. 3 does your front lock, 1 does your middle lock, and 2 does your rear differential lock. And you actually have 2 ways to control your screen from the middle console here. You can use this little button, there's a little back, there's a little home, or you can use this little haptic thing right here. Go your home, back. They both work the same, so I'm not really sure why they did that, but I guess it's good to have extra options. And with the stop start button, I wish they kind of did like a little bit more with it. I wish they kind of did something more luxurious, more nice. You know, you're in a G Wagon after all, but it's just this plain black plastic. And then you have your gear lever right over here. You go down to drive, up to reverse, and press this button into park, which is actually the same gear lever as the Tesla. And one thing to note is like how small this dash is, like just right there. You would think it would go a little bit further for how big the hood is, but said let's just make it as short as possible, I guess. And then you can do a whole bunch with this little infotainment gauge cluster area. Ton of options, but one of the most notable is you can change your gauge cluster theme. So you have classic, you have sport, or you have progressive if you want to get fast in your block of cheddar cheese. A couple more things about the interior is I wish that the shade part for your sunroof was actually electric because that's just a nice feature to have, especially when you're paying this much for this car. And another thing that I like that I've never seen before is how these little lights, it almost looks like jewelry or something when they're lit up. Like I'll turn them off and it's just like, is so cute and cool, and I've never seen that before. They just look so shimmery and nice. And then the other thing is how I wish this screen was touchscreen. Even though you have so many options to change things with all your little doodads here, none of this is actually touchscreen, and that's a big thing for me as well. To get to your cameras, there's this little button right here, and you just use this little guy to scroll through. You have about 3 backup camera angles that you can pick from, and the little circle under the spare tire thing will pop open, exposing the little cameras. So with G Wagon, you get about 40 exterior color options, 30 interior color options, giving you a possible combination of 1,300 options that you can have for your Mercedes G550. So for the storage in this G Wagon, we have storage on each side of the doors. We have our little cup holders here, which can hold things if you're not using your cup holders. We have the center console area with this button. It pops open on both sides, and cool feature, you can close one of the sides if you just want to use one. And then we have our glove box, which is actually pretty deep in there. And we have not 1, but 2 rows of coin slots because G Wagon owners have a lot of money. I really love this interior. It does feel luxurious when you come in here. I think for $190,000, this is what I would expect. I love, like I said, all the different materials in here, and I love how this whole infotainment just flows together as one screen. It doesn't seem like it's separated or anything like that. The steering wheel feels good. I love these like little ridges. It's different. I haven't seen that. And I mean, overall, it's just super nice, and it's such a nice upgrade from the previous model's interiors. Hopping into the back seat here, as you can see, it is super roomy, even of course headroom, you know. I'm 5'3", and I am nowhere near the back of the seat here, and not much going on back here. I kind of expect a little bit more for the price point, but it's okay. It's nice and simple, right? So you have your heat, your cool right here. You have your fan speeds. You have a couple little air vents right here. We have 2 USB-Cs down here and a 12-volt right there. We have heated seats back here. There may be an option for cooled seats. And then we have our vents on each side over here. And our seat back pockets are actually odd. They're like these kind of like elastic bands that you pull. So they're kind of tight, pulling them in and out. And we have our cup holders right here. Nice armrest spot. And they're pretty deep, honestly. And then this is how you get back to that pass-through spot. Another little thing is they brought the nice little cute diamond lights back here from the front that I pointed out earlier, and they also have some nice handles back here. It feels like it's like the actual kind of leather, and it has a nice little silver trim going on with it. But I think I'm ready. Let's go. Couple more things about the interior here. You have really deep storage in each of the door panels over there. We have these hooks down here underneath the seats on the sides. I guess it's extra tie downs. I'm not sure what you're tying down back here, but okay. And then we have our door sills that actually light up. That's a neat feature. And when you're sitting back in the seat, it just feels like it's reclining. Like it doesn't like sit up straight like most back seats do. You're just like, you're relaxing, you're chilling. It's nice back here. It's luxurious. My driver's driving me. It's nice, it's roomy, it's what I would expect for $190,000. Now I'm gonna show you the weird process of how to get the seats down in the G Wagon. Go. First, there's this little lever here that pulls that up, so that's your whole half of the bottom seat up. And also, cool little feature, you have your emergency kit right here under the seat. What? How would you know that's there? Then you have to completely take your headrest off with this little button here. So there's that. And then you have to press this lever up. Oh, which is kind of difficult. And then your seats lay down. All right, taking off in the G Wagon, seeing how this rides. Super smooth right off the line. Oh my gosh. Wow, so nice. Oh my god, it is like one of the smoothest vehicles I have ever felt, for real. So easy to turn for as big as this thing is. The turning signals are so quiet. You barely hear them. The braking is nice and smooth too. Oh my gosh. Ugh. Don't make me fall in love with this car. I cannot afford it. It definitely feels like you are above everybody, and I think that's how this car is meant to be, especially for how much it is. But oh my gosh, this feels so good, so smooth. I love it. Like, it doesn't feel like you're high up, it doesn't feel big or bulky as you see it from the outside. Oh my god, when I went that way, the little bolster like came into me. Oh, that's so cool. Okay. People aren't really buying them these days for like the looks and aesthetics and stuff like that. They're actually buying them because they're like nice and good to drive, and you know, it's not so much as a status symbol, I guess. So like when you turn right, like your bolster like goes up in your side, so like, you're like not going everywhere. That's so cool. Like such a cool feature you would not think of in any car really, but they've just really thought of everything for this G Wagon. Feels so nice going over humps and hitting like little bumps in the road, like you don't even feel it. I mean, it's just everything you could want, especially paying this much. It is so nice. I can't even put it into words how much I enjoy this vehicle. So people do buy these for like the status, the luxury, the symbol, like how it looks on the outside, you know, but when you get in here, it is all luxury, okay? It is all nice, especially the newer ones. They're super, super updated, especially compared to the older models, like that, you know, just don't have much going on, but this one is super updated and nice, and I mean, just so cool. And there is absolutely no wind noise in this car. Like, even my car, I hear everything on the outside, but this definitely gives you that like boxed in, very quiet feel. So as you know, it's like this big boxy vehicle, but when you come inside, like it's just so comfortable, it's so nice. And the fact that they've turned like the military-esque kind of vibe of the G Wagon into something so nice and luxurious is just super awesome. And it just feels so smooth overall. Like, I am thoroughly impressed with how you don't even feel like you're just in this big box. Like, it just feels like if you were to get any super nice Mercedes and how they just glide along the road. Like, that's what you get in this.
Now it's time for my favorite features and Riley ranking.
Now for my 3 favorite features. One has to be the massaging seats. They felt so good, and it was literally like you were getting a massage, like it was punching into you. It felt so nice. 2 has to be just the quality of the interior. Like, that's exactly what you expect for paying this price point, and it does feel like you're in straight luxury. The 3rd has to be just like the clunk of the door. They just have that classic sound, the mechanism. It's super nice. Even though you lose the keyless entry feature with that, I still think it's kind of worth it. And then my bonus feature has to be the color of this. I love matte paint on anything, so this is super cool. It's super different. For my Riley ranking, I would give this vehicle an 8.5 out of 10 because, one, the $190,000 price tag is very steep, but it is a G Wagon. It is a status symbol. It's super, super nice. It is straight luxury when you think about luxury. I love the paint. I love the wheels. It just rides so smooth, and it's just so nice. Like, you could just hang out in your car all day long if you wanted to. I would definitely own this car if it weren't so much. And if you thought this car was cool, you have got to go check out the other ones I have reviewed. Of Mercedes, no, okay. Test 1, 2, 3. I'm leaving my hair and my DNA on it, so it's mine. We're going to, what? A lot of storage on the sides of the door handles, door sills. Wow, okay. What? Classic clunk you get. I'm gonna have to redo that. What? Move.